Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with what I think is the first miracle puzzle I've done on my channel. So, a miracle puzzle is a puzzle where there the constraints that are within the puzzle are so globally constrictive that the puzzle is solvable with a really small number of clues. Um, Cracking the Cryptics, I think their most popular video is a Miracle Sudoku, which actually only has 2 digits on the grid. And then added to that, I think it's anti-knight, anti-king, and non-consecutive rules. And that allows, with just 2 digits, the entire Sudoku to be solved. This is a different Miracle Sudoku by Potato Head 21. I'd not seen this rule set before, and I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Potato Head 21's puzzles tend to be quite tricky. This one is rated as not too hard on Logic Masters Germany, but the difficulty ratings on Logic Masters Germany still can't wrap my head around them. So we'll see how we go. A couple of things. Feel free to come and join us on the Sudoku Solvers Discord. And the reason I'm mentioning that is we're currently doing a puzzle loop. And by the time this comes out, it may have all been seen. But at time of recording, actually, no, at time of recording, it's been out about a week. I wanted to point to people that the reason I created this channel is originally was to record solves of my own puzzles. Scott Strassal solved one of my puzzles called 4DS on his channel. I'll provide a link to to his solve above, and his solve is so good. I'm not going to be doing a solve of that puzzle for my own channel. I could not beat his solve. It was perfect. So what I wanted to do is just call out, and I might do this for the next couple of videos or something as well, call out to go check out Scott's solve of my puzzle, because I'm really happy with it, and it feels a bit weird not to be doing my own puzzle on my own channel, because that's kind of what it was for. But yeah, Scott, thank you very much. But anyway, back to this puzzle, Potato Head 21's Non-Consecutive Miracle Killer. So this one, the rules are quite simple, and I'm a little bit worried about how this is going to go. So normal Sudoku rules. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Killer rules. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage, and we've got 4 cages. Now, digits cannot repeat within cages, in killer cages, which is only really useful for those 2 cells. So those 2 cells could normally be the same. They could normally say be 2s by the rules of Sudoku, but these are in the same killer cage, so they could not both be 2s in this puzzle. And then we've got a rule, which is what makes this the miracle, which is no 2 orthogonally adjacent cells can have a difference of 1 or 2. So what he told me the name of this was NCNBC, which is non-consecutive, non-biconsecutive. So what that means is if I was to, for example, put a 4 here, neither of these digits, or none of these digits, could be 2, 3, 5, or 6. And the same here, none of those could be 2, 3, 5, or 6, because those are all either consecutive or biconsecutive, 2 digits away from 4. So those digits are all restricted from those slots, if that was a 4. And with that, apparently this puzzle was solvable, and I do not know how that is a thing. But let's find out together. Let's give this a shot. So the most restricted cage here would be the 5 cage. 5 in 2 cells has to be 1, 4 or 2, 3. 2, 3 is consecutive. 1, 4 is not consecutive or biconsecutive, so that has to be 1, 4. Let's bring up my calculator because it's me and it's early. 7 in 2 cells. So 1, 6 is neither consecutive nor biconsecutive. 2, 5 is neither consecutive or biconsecutive. 3, 4 is consecutive. So they're the only options for the 7 cage. So 9 cage. There are 3 options for a 9 cage. I'm actually going to visualize this using these cells. So one of the options for a 9 cage is 1, 2, 6. The other ones are 1, 3, 5, and then there's 2, 3, 4. So These are 3 cells in a row. If I did 1, 2, 6, I could not put the 1 or the 2 next to each other because they would be consecutive. So 1, 2, 6 would need I put 6 in the middle and I put 1, 2 on either side. So I'm keeping these apart. Basically, these guys are the bouncer or the chaperone, keeping these two apart. If I did 1, 3, 5, 1, 3 are not consecutive, but they are biconsecutive. But 3 and 5 are also biconsecutive. There's no way I can place that. If I was to place 5 here, I'd have to put a 3 somewhere, which would be wrong. If I was to put a 3 here, I'd have to put a 1 somewhere, which would be wrong. And if I was to put a 1 here, I'd have to put a 3. There is no digit from that can go in the middle. It can't be 1, 3, 5. 2, 3, 4, they're all consecutive. Doesn't matter which digit I put in the middle, I'd have to put something consecutive next to it. It can't be 2, 3, 4. This is 6, and this is a 1, 2 pair. Let's look at the 13 cage. So 13 in 3 can be made up with, sorry, 13 in 4. So that's even more restricted. It's 1, 2, 3 is 6, and I'd need 7 more. So 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 4 is 7, which means I'd need 6. 1, 2, 8 is 11, and I would need another 2, so that doesn't work. So I'm now moving on to 1, 3. I've already used 2, so 1, 3, 4. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 4, 6, and 1, 3, 4, 5. Now let's try the options. So let's here try 1, 2, 3, 7. So neither 1, 2, or 3 can go next to each other. So it'd be 1, 2, 3 with 7 playing the chaperone, because if any cell I put here is going to see all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that an alternate cage and that an alternate cage as well, and I'm going to try out the options. I could potentially do this in my head, but I want to make this sort of interesting to see. So the other option is 1, 2, 4, 6. So 1, 2, 4, if I think about it, if I was to put, so 1, 2, I'm using the grid as notepad for you. If this was 1, 2, 4, 6, if I put 6 here, I may not even need the extra one, so let's get rid of that. If I put, yeah, I'm not going to, because if I put 6 here, I'd have to put 4 in one of those, which wouldn't work. If I put 4 here, I'd have to put 6 in one of those, not going to work. And 2 and 1, whichever one I put there, I'd have to put the other one next to it. I can't use 1, 2, 4, 6. The other one is 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. And the 3, 4, 5 are consecutive, so I couldn't put any of those there. And if I put 1 there, I couldn't put a 3 anywhere. I can't use 1, 3, 4, 5. So all of this is complete nonsense. And the only option I have is 7 with 1, 2, 3 for the 13 cage. Okay, so they're the possibilities for the cages. This 1, 4 takes 1 out of there, so that means I cannot have 6 there. Okay, so that's what I've got. So this cell is limited. It can't be 1, 2. It can be 3. It can't be 4 or 5, 6, 7 or 8. So this is 3 or 9. This cell is less limited because this can be 1, 2, 3. Can't be 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, but it can be 9. Thing is, these don't, like these can't be 1, 2 or 3, but as soon as I hit 4, I can put 4 in any of those. I just can't put 4 next to the 2. And these are far enough apart that whichever one this is going to... These are far enough apart that they're not that restrictive. I can't put 1 or 4 in that column. So 1 in this box has to go in one of those cells. because I've got one looking up there and one looking across there. But one being in here doesn't knock 2 out of any of those, because I could put a 2 there and then a 1 in either of those, or a 2 there and a 1 in either of those. Can it be this 13 cage? Because this cell can be anything from 4. This cell can be anything from 4 up. The other 1, 2, or 3 in this cage is going to have to go in there, because if I put it here, then all of these would be knocked out. So if this was a 3, I couldn't put a 1 or a 2 in either of 1, 2, or 3 in either of those, and it would break the puzzle. But that just doesn't, that's not that restrictive. What about in here? So 1 and 4 knock out. Okay, 1 and 4 knocks out 2 and 3. So if I was to put a 2 here, I couldn't put either a 1 or 4. Same here, I couldn't put a 1 or 4. Same here and same here. And it's the same with 3. So 2 and 3 are up here, which means this is not a 2 or a 3, and this is a 1 or a 9. This was not a good time for my calming music playlist to run out, but I'm going to push on. What I'm going to do is have more coffee. Unlike yesterday, which had huge hailstorms, today it's really warm. It's very early in the morning and it's already very hot. Summer in Melbourne. It's got to be this box, doesn't it? Sorry, I'm drawn to box 1 because it's definitely the most restricted. So what are the options here? So here I can't, so if this is, so in here I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which is disturbing. No, I can't put 6. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I can't put 3 there. These are going to be more limited based on what that is. So for example, if this is a 3, none of those can be 4 or 5. And if this is a 9, none of these can be 7, 8, or 9. Which means if this is a 3, that's the 3. And if this is a 9, none of these can be 7, 8, and 9. So that will be 4, 5. These will have to be 7 and 8, and that will have to be 3. Is that right? I'm going to have to do the same trick. So what I'm going to do, and if you think this is bifurcation, congratulations. I don't necessarily argue. Yeah, the puzzle's going to scream like mad. I'm going to turn off conflict checker. I'm going to replicate box 1 down here because I've got empty boxes down here. So we've got 3, 9 in those cells. We've got 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 down here. And across here, we've got 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Now, if you think this is bifurcation, that's fine. I could possibly do this in my head, but that would not be demonstrating to you what I'm thinking. And even then, I'd probably get it wrong doing this sort of deduction in my head. And it's still puzzle solving. I'm still having to find the trick. So, I don't know. So these are replicas of box 1. They are not their own boxes. So as you can tell, because that's complete nonsense. So if this was a 3, none of these could be 4 or 5. None of these would be 3. So now I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple, so they're not 7, 8, and 9. So what I would end up with is that. Now that 4, 5 would mean that this is not 5, 2, and this would be a 6 and a 1. Okay. Now if this is a 9, none of these are 7, 8, or 9. There's a 4, 5. So this becomes a 3. There's no 4, 5 there. There's no 3 there. And there's no 9 there. So this becomes 3. So they're the possibilities. And remember, this isn't a conflict because what I'm doing here is this is what would go here if this was here. Now, I can make some eliminations from this because the only possibilities, pardon me, in these cells are 4, 5, and 7, 8, 9, so that's correct. But the only possibility in this cell is 3, 7, 8, or 9. So that can't be 4 or 5. And these can only be 4, 5, 7, 8. So they can't be 3, and they can't be 9. So that narrows this box down to those options. Often when I'm solving not on camera, I will do this on a second grid if I find something that's really, really hard. So 4, 5 is either going to be here or here. Now, if 4, 5 is here, this becomes 6, 1, which would put 6 and 1 in here. Four, 5 is there. If 4, 5 is there, 6 and 1 go in here. This is 6 because this is 6, 1 in that order. That being a 1 means there'd be a 1 down here. Remember, this is not here. This is a replica of here, but there's no pressure down here, which is why I had no problem doing it. It would put 2 into one of those. Oh, wait a minute, that can't be a 2 or a 3. This is a 2-3 pair, for the same reason that none of those could be a 2 or a 3. So this is actually a 2-3 pair. Which just means that they can't be 1 or 4, which I already had. It does mean that they can't be 1 or 4. How the heck are you supposed to make progress on this? Like, even having done this, I can't... Oh, wait a minute. That breaks the puzzle. If I put this into this box, the puzzle is broken. And there is no way I could have seen it if I hadn't done this. And feel free to comment below and say I bifurcated, but I needed to visualize this. If this was box one, this puzzle is broken. And the reason for that is a little bit tricky to see. I'm not going to put this in box one, but I'm going to let you visualize it while I populate this box based on what is happening here. So let's assume that those two cells are those two cells. So those are a 4-5 pair. So now we want to ask ourselves about 4 in box 2. 4 can no longer go in those cells because this is a 4-5 pair because I've just transplanted those over. 4 can't go in that cell because of the 1-4 pair looking up. 4 can't go in either of those two cells because 4 is too close to either 2 or 3. 4 is not in either of those two cells because to put 4 in a 7 cage, I'd have to put it next to a 3. And that cell can't be a 4 because 4 is within 2 of either 2, 5, or 6. And all of a sudden, I ask myself, where do I put 4 when all 9 cells cannot be 4s? So this is not possible for box 1 without breaking box 2. I've no idea if that is the only way to move forward in this puzzle. But what it does mean is this is 3, this is 7, 8, 9, these are 7, 8, 9, and these are 4 and 5. And then I can select all of this and I can just blow it all away. I've no idea if that's the only way forward. If it is, it would feel incredibly tight on the solve path. Okay, so what is next? Well, that 4, 5, as we said, means that they can't be 2 or 5. So this is a 6 and this is a 1. Oh, wow. Come on. So the box that put the most pressure on was box 2, because I had to put pressure on box 2 to make that happen. So do I need to just put options into box 2? Hopefully I don't need to do this trick again. I think I just need to put options into box 2. Like fully pencil mark box 2 and see what I come up with. Because I'm not seeing... Like, I can see that 6 is over here with 1. 4 is somewhere down here. But it could be in... Oh, no, 4 is in one of those two. That's what got us to this. Which means 4 is down here. 5, however, can be in... Okay, let's just fully pencil mark. 2 can't be here. 2 can't be there. So 2 is in one of those. 3 can't be there. 3 can't be in either of those two because it'd be too close to the 2 or 3. So 3 is in one of those two. 4 we've already eliminated to those. 5. 5 can be not there. So 5 can't be there. So 5 looks like it can be in any of those. We've already got 6. 7. So we've got all of those to start with. It can't go next to 6. It can't go next to 7, 8, or 9. So 7 is limited to those. 8. 8 can't go next to 6. It can't go next to 7, 8, or 9. So 8 is limited to those. And then 9. 9 can't go next to 7, 8, or 9. Is that it? Wait, this can't be a 3. Because that'd be next to a 4 or a 5. That's not a 3. So we've got a 2, 9 pair. So I can take 2 out of there. I can take 9 out of all of those. This is a 4, 5. So this can't be a 5. This is now a 7 or an 8. So that can't be a 7 or an 8. This is a 3, 5. So this can't be a 5. And now I've got a 7, 8 pair. So I can take 7, 8 out of there. So now I've got, oh, and now I've got a 4, 5 pair. So that becomes a 3, which means that can't be a 2. That's a 9. Which means that is a 7, 8 pair, which means that's a 9. Which means that's a 2. 2 is too close to 4, so that's a 5 and that's a 4. 5 is too close to 7, that becomes an 8, that becomes a 7. And now I've got roping going on across the top. So this is 162, 162, so this must be 162. This is 459, 459, so this must be 4, 5, and 9. And this is 837, 837, so this must be 8, 3, and 7. This can't be 7. Now, 3 is too close to 1. 2 is too close to 4. 9 is too close to 7. This 2 makes this a 3, which makes this a 2. 6 is too close to 4. That's a 1. So there is no 1 there. 2 is, oh, of course, I can start playing the separation game. So 2 can't be next to 1. And I can do the same here. I can't put 4, 5 next to each other. So that has to be the 9, and that can't be. 4 is too close to 2, so that becomes 5, and that becomes the 4. 7 and 8 are both too close to 6, and they'd be too close to each other anyway, and that happens. 5 is too close to 7, that becomes the 8, that becomes the 7. 4 is too close to 2, that becomes the 5, and that becomes the 4. Now, is the next thing this box or this row? Or maybe even this column, because, oh, I can't put 2 there, so this becomes the 2, because that 2 knocked it out. So I'm thinking maybe this column. So I've got 1, 2, 3, I need 4, 6, and 9. 4 and 6 are too close to 5, that becomes the 9. Yeah, not sure. Oh, that makes that a 1. So now across here I need 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This can't be 4 or 7. 5 and 6 are both too close to 4. That's an 8. So let's take the 8 out of all of those. 7 is too close to 8. 6 is too close to 8. This is a 4 or a 5. 4 is too close to 3. 5 is too close to 3. And it sees a 6. That becomes a 7. And I take 7 out of both of those. 4 and 5 are too close to 3. This becomes a 6. Take 6 out of here. This becomes a 4 or a 5. It sees a 4. This becomes a 5. This becomes a 4. This becomes a 6. Which means this becomes a 4. 3 is too close to 4. This becomes a 1. And this becomes a 3. Is the next thing boxes or continue on rows? It's kind of hard to know. Like, it really does feel like a puzzle where you just put in stuff and see what breaks. So let's look at box. So I've got to put a 1 in here, this box. I can't put it there and I can't put it next to the 2. So that has to be the 1, which is far enough away from 4. I now need to put a 2 in. I can't put it next to the 1, so that becomes the 2. 3, 4, I need to put a 5 in. 5 would be too close to 3, so that's a 5. Therefore, that becomes the 7. This 1 means that this is the 4 and this is the 1. I need to put a 5 somewhere in one of those two. That 5 forces it to there. Can't put 6 there, so 6 is in one of those. Actually, that 6 tells me I now need to put 8 and 9 into there, and that 8 resolves it. 8 and 9. Now I'm going to go to rows. This is 2, 3, and 7. So this can't be 7. This can't be 3. In fact, I need to keep the 2 and 3 apart, so this must be the 7. And 3 is too close to 5. Now I go to boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and 9. So there is no 8 there. I must keep the 8 and 9 apart. That becomes a 4, that becomes the 9, and that becomes the 8. Oh, I've got roping going on vertically in over here too. 8, 2, 5, 8, 2, 5. So this must be 8 and 5. 5 is too close to 4, so that's 8 and that's 5. This becomes 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9. And that matches the roping. I've got roping going on here too. 285, 285. So this is 285. 147, 147. This is 147. So 3, this would be 369. Now, any of those? 2 and 5 are far enough apart. 2, 3, yeah, 2 and 5. 5 and 8 are far enough. These are all far enough apart. Now, I can't put 8 there. Can't put 5 there. Can't put 2 there. Can't put 7 there. Can't put 1 there. Can't put 4 there. Can't put 3 next to 5. Can't put 6 next to 5. This is a 9, so there's no 9 there. There's no 9 there. Can't put 3 next to 2. That is a 6. So I take 6 out of there. Can't put 9 next to 8. That is the 3. That is the 9. That is the 6. That is the 3. Can't put 5 next to 6. That is the 2. That is the 8. That is the 5. Can't put 1 next to 2. That is the 7. That is the 4. That is the 1. And now we've got... These are the first two things I almost put in the grid are still holding it on. Because all of those are far enough apart. And, oh no, that 2. 1 and 2. Not still holding on, me just not scanning. And now we're just down to one box. So it is literally just figure out. So 1 goes there. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And 9. And that is the Nonconsecutive Miracle Killer by Potato Head 21. That was an interesting puzzle. I would be very interested to see if anyone found a way of breaking out of box 1 without doing the trick with the pairs here and finding out that the 4 could not be placed if you put a 9 here. But I don't think I could have done that without doing the visualization trick I did down here. I would be if you were able to find a way of moving forward with this puzzle without doing that visualization trick, please let me know how, because I obviously missed a trick with that one. But either way, I hope people found that puzzle interesting and fun. I definitely found it interesting. All interesting puzzles are fun, but it's going to definitely take me some time to wrap my head around that one. And yeah, I've not seen the non-biconsecutive constraint before. I imagine that would be an incredibly constrained grid. That was interesting. Oh, well, thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, please check out all of the other stuff that I'm doing. And I'm going to go and turn on some air conditioning because it's really starting to warm up here. Good luck, everyone, and have fun with all of your solving.